Bully thinks he can take Clint Eastwood's seat, big mistake. They thought he was just an old man. They thought he was weak. They thought they could erase him, in front of everyone. One shove. One stolen seat. One laugh that echoed down the bus aisle. And nobody stood up. Not when the insult started. Not when the crowd turned away. Not when something far more dangerous quietly woke up inside him. Because the man they humiliated wasn't just anyone. And the mistake they made was the kind that changes lives. Forever. Stay with me. Because what happens next will leave you shaking. Some injustices happen quietly. They don't make headlines. They don't go viral. They don't even make noise. They happen in narrow aisles. Between tired strangers. On long rides home. They happen when someone decides that another human being is less important. Less worthy. Less deserving. Less protected. And on a gray afternoon in a nearly empty bus terminal, one of those quiet injustices began to form, slow, ugly, and unnoticed, around an elderly man who only wanted to sit down. He didn't raise his voice. He didn't argue. He didn't demand respect. He simply stood there, holding a small leather bag in his hands, breathing slowly, eyes fixed on a seat that was suddenly no longer his. Around him, phones glowed. Shoes shuffled. Conversations continued. No one knew who he was. No one knew what he had lived through. No one knew the storms he had survived. And no one noticed the way his jaw tightened. Or the way his fingers curled around the handle of that bag. Because sometimes the most dangerous moment isn't when violence explodes. It's when something ancient, disciplined, and unshakably calm decides it has been pushed far enough. And the worst part? The man who took his seat had no idea who he had just awakened. The bus terminal smelled like burnt coffee and rain-soaked concrete. A digital clock flickered red above gate 14. 4:47 p.m. The man stood beneath it, shoulders relaxed, posture straight, wearing a faded denim jacket and a black cowboy hat that looked older than most of the people passing by. He didn't look famous. He didn't look powerful. He just looked tired. But calm. He held a small leather bag at his side, the kind someone carries when they don't own much, but they care deeply about what they do own. He stepped onto the bus quietly. Paid in cash. Nodded once to the driver. Then walked slowly down the aisle until he reached the window seat in the middle row, the same seat he always chose when he traveled this route. He set his bag down. Turned. And stopped. Someone was sitting in it. A man in his early 30s. Broad shoulders. Gold chain. Loud laugh. Feet stretched into the aisle. The stranger glanced up and smirked. Seat taken, Grandpa. The old man blinked once. I was just here, he said calmly. His voice was low. Steady. The bully leaned back. Spread his arms. Well, now you're not. A few people chuckled. A woman across the aisle looked down at her phone. The driver didn't turn around. The old man stood there. Didn't argue. Didn't beg. He simply nodded once. All right, he said softly. And moved to the standing rail. The bus pulled away. Rain streaked the windows like thin gray scars. The bully laughed loudly to his friend in the back. Man, these old dudes think the world owes them something. Someone snorted. The old man said nothing. He held the rail. Watched the road. Breathed. 5 minutes passed. 10. Then the bus hit a sharp bump. The bully's foot slid. His sneaker slammed into the old man's shin. Ow, watch it, the old man muttered. The bully looked up slowly. And smiled. Or what? Silence filled the aisle. The old man looked down at the sneaker on his leg. Then back up. Please move your foot, he said. The bully laughed again. You gonna make me? Something in the old man's eyes changed. Not anger. Not fear. Something colder. He leaned slightly closer. I don't want trouble. Oh, I do, the bully whispered. And then he pushed his foot harder into the old man's shin. The old man didn't flinch. Didn't raise his voice. He simply reached down and picked up his leather bag. The zipper slid open just enough for something metallic inside to catch the dim bus light. The old man closed it again, looked the bully straight in the eyes, and said quietly, "You really shouldn't do this." The bus rolled on through the rain. And nobody noticed that the man they had just humiliated wasn't shaking. He was smiling. The smile on the old man's face was barely visible. But it was there. Not warm. Not friendly. Controlled. The bully noticed it. And for the first time since he boarded the bus, his laugh didn't come out right. "You smiling at me?" he muttered. The old man didn't answer. He simply stepped closer, close enough that the rain tapping the window was suddenly the loudest sound on the bus. The metallic shape inside the bag shifted slightly. Not a weapon. Something heavier. Something personal. The bully scoffed. "You think that bag scares me?" The old man finally spoke. "No," he said calmly. "But what's in my pocket should." The bully froze. Not because he believed him, but because of the way he said it. No shaking. No bravado. Just certainty. The bus hit another bump. And the driver slowed as traffic backed up. The aisle went still. The old man reached slowly into his jacket pocket. The bully leaned back instinctively. People lifted their heads. Phones paused mid-scroll. The old man pulled out a folded newspaper clipping. Yellowed. Creased. Worn thin. He opened it carefully. On the front was a black and white photo. A younger man. Lean. Eyes sharp. Hat low. A gun belt at his waist. The headline read, "Local deputy saves hostages after armed standoff, suspect disarmed with bare hands." The bully squinted. "So what?" he scoffed. The old man tilted the paper slightly. "You know what that deputy's name was?" Silence. The old man's eyes locked onto his. "Clint Eastwood." A murmur rippled through the bus. Someone whispered, "No way." Another gasped. The bully swallowed. The old man folded the clipping slowly. "I didn't come here to be noticed," he said. "I didn't come here to be respected." He stepped closer. "I came here to go home." The bully shifted in his seat. "You're not." The old man cut him off. "Sit up straight." His voice didn't rise. But the command landed like thunder. The bully obeyed without realizing it. The old man leaned down until their faces were inches apart. "You shoved your foot into my leg," he said. "You mocked me. You took something that wasn't yours." He straightened. "But you didn't take my patience." He zipped the bag fully shut. Slung it over his shoulder. And quietly said, "You can keep the seat." The bully blinked. Confused. Relieved. The old man turned to walk away. Then stopped. "One more thing," he said. The bully looked up. "I forgive you." The words hit harder than any threat. The bully swallowed. The bus pulled into the next stop. Doors hissed open. And standing outside were two transit officers. One pointed. "That him?" The driver nodded. The bully's face drained of color. The officer stepped aboard. Sir, he said, looking directly at the bully, we received multiple complaints about harassment and assault. The bully stood up. I didn't. Step off the bus. The old man walked past him calmly. Didn't look back. Didn't smile. Didn't need to. As the doors closed and the bus rolled on, a woman whispered. That was really Clint Eastwood, wasn't it? The old man took the empty seat by the window. Looked out at the rain. And quietly said. Yeah. That video went viral. Millions of views. Clips replayed. Comment sections exploded. People debated. People apologized. People remembered. But Clint? He never commented. Never posted. Never corrected anyone. He simply went home. Sat on his porch. And rocked quietly as the sun went down. Because sometimes the most dangerous man in the room is the one who doesn't need to prove it. If this story moved you, inspired you, or shocked you, subscribe to the channel for more true-style cinematic stories that expose injustice, courage, and the power of quiet strength. Because the next story might hit even harder.